Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Unison. Fantastic for that. Thank you. Let's have a go at that chant again. I'll do love, you do Newcastle. I'll do hate, you say racism. How does that work? That might work a bit better, doesn't it? Love, hate, love, hate, love, hate, love, hate, 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 love. Brilliant. Okay, we've got our next speaker. We thought perhaps he got lost, perhaps, but he's managed to find his way up here from Manchester. It's the PCS Union, Public Commercial Services Union, National Black Members Chair, Mohammed Shafiq. Please give him a big hand all the way from Manchester.
Friends, sisters and brothers, I'm proud to stand here in solidarity with Stand Up to Racism in this great city of Newcastle. A city with a proud history of working class unity, of shipyards and solidarity, of communities that look after one another. Newcastle has always been better than racism, better than division, better than the politics of fear. I'm speaking today on behalf of PCS Union, representing tens of thousands of workers across the civil service and beyond. Our members come from every background, every faith, every ethnicity, and we know the simple truth: when racism rises, workers pay the price. Racism is not just hateful words shouted in the street and on social media. It's discrimination at work, it's unequal pay, it's Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-black racism. It's the scapegoating of migrants for a cost of living crisis that they did not cause. It divides communities while letting the powerful off the hook. And let's be clear, when parties like Reform UK try to normalise racism and anti-migrant rhetoric, when they flirt with the language of division and nationalism, we have a duty to call it out. Because history teaches us that when racism is mainstreamed, fascism is never far behind. But here's the good news. Newcastle stands against it. The city stands for solidarity, for trade unionism, for neighbours defending neighbours, for students marching alongside workers, for faith group linking arms with campaigners. That is the Newcastle that I know, and that is the Britain that we know. And the trade union movement will not sit quietly while communities are targeted. PCS members stand for decent jobs, fair pay, and public services that serve everyone, not just the privileged few. We reject the lie that working people must compete with each other based on where they were born or what they look like. And the answer to division is unity. The answer to hate is organised solidarity. And the answer to fascism is collective action. So today we send a message. Racism is not welcome here. Fascism is not welcome here. Division is not welcome here. Newcastle chooses solidarity. Newcastle chooses equality. And Newcastle chooses hope over hate. And as trade unions, as campaigners, as members of this community and great nation, we will keep organising, keep speaking out, and keep standing together until every form of racism is eradicated and defeated. Thank you so much for your time and solidarity from everyone at PCS.
I'm now going to introduce James Kingett from Show Racism the Red Card, which is a fantastic education organisation here in Newcastle. James?
Afternoon, everyone. As we stand here today, the need for anti-racism education has arguably never been as important as it is right now. Communities are being bombarded with harmful narratives about the supposed threat posed to wider society by immigration, which is leading to real-world consequences for people from black and global majority backgrounds that's causing anger, fear and isolation for those perceived to be part of a problem that, if addressed, will solve all of society's issues, including those completely unrelated to immigration. Across society, there are increasing numbers of people who are being emboldened to act in racist and prejudicial ways as a result of the misinformation and the disinformation they're being fed, both by others within their immediate communities and by actors online and in the media who are irresponsible with their language, their ideas and the information they share. Show Racism the Red Card is the UK's leading anti-racism education charity. It was established in January 1996, thanks in part to a donation from then Newcastle United goalkeeper Shaka Hislop. In the last year in the North East, we've delivered anti-racism education workshops and training to over 19,000 individuals, including 12,500 children and young people in schools and education settings, and almost 3,000 adults in their workplaces. This week, I've delivered workshops in North East schools, where young people have referenced the statements made by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, containing echoes of language and narrative traditionally used by far-right groups to stir up hate and division, and containing false information about the growth of the population of the UK, appearing to attribute this solely to what he regards as a broken immigration system. The young people in the workshop were citing this as further justification of the ideas and attitudes they're seeing expressed online, often in a completely unregulated way, where prejudicial attitudes and wildly inaccurate information are being presented as facts, and the facts that represent the feelings of the majority of people within society. We know that that's not the reality, and acts of solidarity like the one we're participating in today show the allyship that we can provide to those feeling the effects of the hostile environment that's being created, and demonstrate that there is hope for a society that rejects racism and discrimination and promotes respect, inclusion and love. But we must do more. We must be louder. We must do so in recognition of the manipulation tactics being used to turn people against their fellow human beings, to misdirect and to scapegoat, and to push narratives that not only harm those directly affected by them, but do enormous harm to the very fabric of society in this country and around the world. We must educate others about the effects of this harm and the motivations of those who use their platform to create hate, division, both unintentionally and in some cases with very explicit intention. We must help them recognise the misinformation and to think critically about the damaging rhetoric presented as fact, in order that they can develop the skills and the mindset required to reject these deeply concerning ideas. And here in the North East, to show the true face of our communities, communities where people have long stood side by side to see off the threat of those people who wish to return the UK to a time that never was. In the historic words of Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Show Racism the Red Card will continue to do just that, as we have done for the last 30 years. And I implore those of you standing here today in solidarity to continue to challenge the ideas you know to be dangerous and untrue, both through education and through your outlook and your actions. Thank you.
Thank you, James, and thank you, Show Racism the Red Card. I've got my Show Racism the Red Card band on. I hope people have got my Show Racism the Red Card neckerchief. And when I started, I'm a retired teacher now. When I started teaching in 1993, 94, I think it was, Jed Greby from Show Racism the Red Card, he came down and said, "Can I come into your classroom?" I think my classroom was one of the first classrooms that had Show Racism the Red Card in it in the North East. And I would highly recommend that if you have children or if you are in a school, get them in, because they do absolutely fantastic work. Workshops, Show Racism the Red Card, really, really do. Please get them in. John's standing here at the front with a green bucket, and he's going to come amongst you and shake it, and hopefully you can put some money in there. We need to raise money so we can get people, help people who need to get down to London for the march, to Together March on the 28th of March. So if he's coming around, see if you've got a few coins or a few notes in your pocket you can spare. In terms of the, I said I was a retired teacher. When I was teaching, it was the National Union of Teachers. It's now the National Education Union. But the late General Secretary, who was the General Secretary when I was teaching, Steve Sinnott, said, I believe that our union has a moral responsibility to argue against the ideas of racism, fascism that are diametrically opposed to our approach to education, which values every child irrespective of race, colour or creed. And I think that's a message that our union now, my union now, the National Education Union, takes into the classrooms every day of the week. So I'm really, really pleased. Our next speaker is Emma Farthing from the Durham National Education Union. Emma.
Good afternoon, everyone. I bring love, solidarity and hopefully hope to you all on this cold Saturday afternoon from the National Education Union. I've had the privilege of working as a teacher and a support staff member across the North East, working with primary age children and young people with special educational needs. Early in my career, I was teaching in a pit village in Durham, a predominantly white British classroom. One day we were discussing animals and the differences between them. Some have wings, some have a different amount of legs, some have fur and others have feathers, but all of them matter. A small group of children started talking about what made them different. Some liked trucks, whilst others liked dolls. Some loved vegetables, others didn't. Two children joined the conversation. They looked at each other and Kate said, "Me likes pink clothes, I don't." Kate's family were white and her family had lived in the village for generations. Me had moved to the village from China when she was 2. Children don't see colour, religion, disabilities or gender. They see their friend, someone who has interests like them and who helps them when they're sad or they fall over. At times in our lives, we all need support when a crisis hits. It could be a job loss, a fire, or in my case, it was a sudden death of my daughter at the age of 27. My friends, family, union, and community were there. They supported me in my darkest moment. Now let's imagine I'm a mother. I've lost my child. My other children are in danger, and I only have one option: to leave the only home I know and move across the world to a country with different cultures, traditions and languages. I'm scared. I have no friends. My family are thousands of miles away and I don't know if they are alive or dead. But I know my children are safe. Or are they? I live in a hotel and there are men shouting outside every week telling me to go home. I don't have a home anymore. I don't have friends, family, or a community, and I'm scared. I'm here today to tell this family and others like them, we're here. We will be your friend, we will be your family, and we will be your community. I'm going to finish on an adapted version of a saying I have told my own children all their lives. I don't care whether you're white or black, Christian or Muslim, disabled, male, female or non-binary. You can be gay or straight, a bin man or a doctor. Be a good human, be nice, care about others, and I and the NEU members across the country will always have your back and support you in the fight for injustice. We can and do make a difference. Let's all be good humans.
Thank you, Emma. I'm now introducing Neil Denton, who is representing the North East Anti-Racist Coalition, which are a group of people that came together after the riots. And they thought, we have to do something, and this is what they did. Neil?
Neil, that's you.
Morning. Good morning. That's a long way down. That's better. Good afternoon, Newcastle. Before I start, a big thanks to Stand Up to Racism and Newcastle UNITES for showing some love on this Valentine's Day, so thank you to them. We are the North East Anti-Racism Coalition, and we exist because we are living in troubling times. We exist because racism, Islamophobia and anti-Semitism are on the rise. And we are living in a society where we are imprisoned by the walls and echo chambers that we have created by fictitious stories of difference that are used to justify discrimination, stories of the other as the enemy, stories that permeate our values, our structures and our behaviours, and they are stories with real-world implications. Implications where people are attacked because of the colour of their skin or the God that they pray to. Stories that leave us thinking, am I safe? Or are my neighbours a danger to me? So we have a problem. And it's a problem that won't go away if we ignore it. It's a problem that won't go away unless we name it. So it's not enough just to not be a part of the problem. We're here and we exist because we believe that we need to act. We all need to take a part in making the change that we want to see by changing the quality of the connection between us. We are the North East Anti-Racism Coalition and we are asking you to become the bridge. Because we believe that bridges are important to us. Since the dawn of time, we've come together to cross barriers, build bridges and thrive on human connection. Because we know deep down that's the route to our happiness and our well-being. It's the bridges that bring us together, that help us to build trust and relationships and to overcome challenges and create better lives. And we imagine what the world would be if those bridges were better. We want to create wider bridges so that we can see each other as more fully human. We want to create stronger bridges where we can turn connection into collaboration. We want to repair bridges that have been damaged by disagreement and conflict. And we want to create new bridges where those connections are missing. So we are the North East Anti-Racism Coalition, and our mission is to make the North East a region that actively opposes racism and hatred based on religious identity. We want to create a fairer, anti-racist North East by made stronger by the talents of all its people. A North East that's a place where diversity is celebrated, inclusion is the norm, and everyone feels safe and valued. We want to build and energise a visible anti-racist movement. We want to encourage community work and community relationships in neighbourhoods. We want to shift public attitudes through a sustained public awareness campaign. And we want to provide practical support to organisations and institutions. We are the North East Anti-Racism Coalition. There are already 1,000 of us, but to make the change we need thousands more. We are the North East Anti-Racism Coalition and we need your help. We ask you to sign up, join in and become the bridge. Thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Neil's doing some fantastic work with North East Anti-Racist Coalition across the region, going and organising in communities and talking to people and educating them and getting them to do that sort of thing. I just want a big hand actually to the Woodcraft folk who are here. Fantastic. And Amnesty International, Amnesty are another organisation that are supporting the national demonstration. So thanks to all of those people who are coming down. Our next speaker, really pleased that we've got him here today because people will know that in our universities there are struggles against pay and pensions. There's strike action at Northumbria and Newcastle, I think, going on at the moment. So we're really pleased to have here Graham Smith, who's the chair of the Northern Region UCU Union. Please give a big hand to Graham.